Happy Saturday, happy Saturday, happy Saturday, Forest Night out in St. Louis. Hopefully, you're having an absolutely wonderful weekend. I know I am. The light's a little bit funky in here today. Not sure what's going on with that, but we will be okay. Let me turn this phone off so it doesn't buzz. So, really quickly, I'm not going to keep you here very long. One of the things that I did, and I thought I would share this, it's a Google Docs sheet that I put together. Now, I've done one for my network marketing buddies. I put a my crazy Google Docs follow-up sheet together for all of my network marketers to create a follow-up way to follow up with people. It's really cool. It's got all the formulas. But what I did also was I went in and I wanted to create a spreadsheet primarily for my wife so she could track her shirt sales, her t-shirt sales in her boutique. So she does t-shirts and masks, a couple other things. And I wanted to put a spreadsheet together for her to track, how many of certain size that she sold, what colors that she sold, what she was selling, a sort of a profit and loss, just something simple that she could keep track of what she was doing. So I want to share this with you. If you have a small business and you're selling stuff, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're not tracking what you're doing, if you're not tracking and measuring what you're doing, you're not going to have a clue on how much profit you're going to make, not to mention how long is it going to take you to sell whatever it is. So for example, if it takes you, say, a half an hour to put a t-shirt together and you're selling that t-shirt for 13 bucks and your shirt costs $6, you may have profited $6, and that's just in the time between, and it took you half an hour. So in all reality, you're making 12 bucks an hour, right? If that makes sense. So say that say the shirt, you sold it for 13 bucks. The shirt costs $6. Of course, you've got your time in it. It takes you 30 minutes to do the shirt, which is time and labor costs. You're basically working for less than $12 an hour. So you got to think about how, when you position yourself, when you're selling stuff, when you're marketing stuff, if you're not tracking this stuff, you're not going to have a clue on whether or not your business is profitable, because one, you may not be selling your stuff for enough, right? Just because something costs less doesn't necessarily mean you're going to sell more of it, right? So make sure that you set yourself up to make profit based on how long it takes you to do something, how long it takes to position something. It doesn't matter if you're doing lawn care business, whatever it is, you need to track your customers, how much money you're charging them, how long it takes you to do that, your profit for your gas, whatever, right? For your equipment, there's all kinds of stuff in there. That's a whole nother list of stuff. Make sure you have your list of supplies that you buy, how much they cost, because that's something you can use for your taxes. That's a whole nother spreadsheet. That's easy. Just write the item on there, the date you bought it, how much it cost you, keep track of that, and add it up at the end of the year. So let me do this quick screen share with you. Again, if you want this, this sheet, this Google sheet, just let me know. I'll get you a copy of it. I'll need your Gmail address, your Gmail address, your Gmail address. You can message that to me in Messenger, and I'll get you a copy of this if you want to use it for your business. If you know somebody who has a small business and they're having challenges tracking their stuff, you can do this. Now I've gone in and I've whited out or blocked out the customer names and stuff like that, so you can just see the sheet here. And of course, when I make you a copy, you won't get this one, but you'll get a copy of this one without all the customer stuff on it. But I went in and the best I could was to throw in some columns in here to show you how they work. If you're looking at this, I started out with size. Of course, the date was the date that you sold the shirt or the item that you wanted to sell. I put in the different size shirts in here. You can see there's extra small, small, medium, large, and so on and so forth. That's called creating a data range in a shirt. I'm probably going to actually come back and do a video on how to actually put in these ranges, but everything's built in here. Whether it's a shirt or a mask, if somebody bought a mask, that drops in there. I'm not sure why it doesn't have the little pull down arrow, but it doesn't. So I just type in shirt, the color of the shirt, and she's got her different colors put in here again in a data range. She sold a couple of light blues, a couple of pinks, another light blue, and a couple of white ones. The prices she's charging for each, how much she sold of each one, whether or not it was shipping. If there's zeros in here, this is just somebody that's local, that they just met her and she dropped them off. The total that was earned and whether or not it was paid. Put the customer's information in here. Now we do scan me shirts in here, which we get the website URL. We put that in there as well. The date it was shipped out, right, would go in this column here. Then this is just a blanked out column to separate. Profit wise, what I did was I built in some formulas on this side. So I put in, again, this is all building formulas. This is all pre-built in here. So we've got the color pink, light blue, white, and peach. You can see on my pink side, right, what I did is a total count if D2 to D100 is P4. This is P4 right here, and D2 to D100 is the column with the color choice in it. So D2 all the way to D100. So if somebody chooses pink, every time they choose pink, it's automatically going to calculate how many pink shirts were sold, how many light blue shirts were sold, how many white ones are sold. It's going to cost, the total revenue is going to be added up from the total revenue column, the cost, average cost per shirt, the total sold at 7. So this is the profit right now off the 7 shirts. And again, being able to come back and look at this and say, is this a reasonable amount of time to come in and put a shirt together? Also put the different sizes in here. And the reason we do this, right, is we want to know to be able to order ahead of time how many medium shirts maybe that somebody ordered, what kind of colors are they typically ordering, pinks, blues, and whites, so we know what to keep in inventory for our orders, extra larges, so on and so forth, how many need to be ordered so that when it comes around, we can forecast into the future the total of number of shirts. If nobody ever orders a 6XL, we're not going to have a bunch of those in stock and in inventory. That might just be a one-off where we actually have to go track it, a 6XL to get one. Those are a little hard to find. But again, this is a spreadsheet that I put together for my wife. I wanted to share it with you that has all the formulas in here. If you'd like a copy of this, maybe you're running a business, you're like, yeah, man, the cool thing about it is all the formulas in here. If you just click on a range where it does the automatic calculation, the formulas pop up here in the top, and you can just basically sort of duplicate the formulas. They're all in here for the data ranges. If you need to know how to do these data ranges, you can also go to YouTube like I did and learn how to do this. Now, sometimes you need good old-fashioned basic math if you went to school and paid attention, create these formulas. But again, my totals are right up in here. The sum equals S4 minus T4 times U4 gives me this total, which is this total cost each times the number of 7 is how I came up with that profit number there for you. And I know I talked really fast. And again, that's just a matter of learning how to do formulas. Let me hit stop share. So if you like this Google Doc spreadsheet and you've got a business and you sell stuff, t-shirts, masks, pictures, frames, any kind of business where you need to track your customers, the only way that you're going to know if you're making any money is you got to track what you're doing. You got to track and measure it so you know if it's even worth it. And please, please charge enough to make it worth your time to even do it. If you're not charging enough for your t-shirts because you're worried about your friends thinking it's going to cost too much, you're just basically wasting people's times. You're wasting your time in terms of doing that because it's not going to make you money. Now, if it's just a real side hustle and you don't really care and you're just doing it for the sake of because you love somebody, then it really doesn't matter how much you charge. But if you're seriously thinking you want to get up to where you're making, $2,000 or $3,000 a week in your t-shirt business or your boutique business or whatever it is, if you're not tracking what you're doing and how many customers you are, we just talked about this today on our custom shirt. She's going to have to charge more than $19 on some of these custom shirts to make it worth the time. She's going to offset that by doing some pre-printed stuff that's already pre-printed so she can sell those as one-offs and that she doesn't have to spend as much time in doing this. So these pre-printed Scan Me shirts are probably going to go up to 25. As a matter of fact, we already agreed on that, right, babe? The Scan Me shirts are going to be $25 a piece before shipping. So except for those who already got their orders in, of course, we're not going to upcharge that, but it's just a matter of how much time it takes her. She's literally got to customize each one. It takes a little bit of time, and I definitely want her, and she definitely wants to make it worth her time. So again, if you want this spreadsheet, shoot me a message. I'll need your Gmail address. You will make a copy of it. All the formulas will be in there for you to track whatever you're selling, whether it's jewelry, even if you do hair, whatever it is you do, you need to keep track of what you're doing on a spreadsheet somewhere so you know that you're charging your clients enough and you're not spending, an hour making a t-shirt for $6 of profit. That's just not worth it, right? That's just not worth it, in my opinion. But if you're okay making $6 an hour or whatever, totally on you. I'm thinking more like 40 to 50 bucks an hour would be more appropriate for you to do custom stuff. I love you. I appreciate you. Jesus loves you. Absolutely nothing you can do about it. I'm on a mission to have no more empty refrigerators, make an extreme impact and be an equity creator. I hope you are too. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.